If you live in a big city, you deal with traffic. But what if there was a way to avoid that traffic entirely and get to your destination faster for about the same price as an Uber? This is Cora. Cora is the nickname of the unmanned electric vertical takeoff and landing aircraft designed by California-based aerospace manufacturer Wisk. In the not-so-distant future, Wisk hopes to deploy these unpiloted air taxis in big cities that suffer from heavy traffic congestion, offering a faster alternative to a traditional commute.
My name is Gary Geisen. I'm the CEO of Wisk. Wisk is a joint venture between Larry Page and the Boeing company. Larry Page had this idea back in 2010 and formed a partnership with a professor out of Stanford. Was this even possible to have an aircraft take off like a helicopter, fly like a plane, and land like a helicopter?
The answer was yes. And now, more than a decade later, Wisk has achieved more than 1,600 test flights without even one instance of failure.
And our mission is to be the first self-flying, all-electric, passenger-carrying aircraft that enters into service in the US and in other markets. The company has been maniacally focused on passenger travel in congested cities. Average amount of wasted time for an American commute is 9 days on an annual basis. In the US, we've just authorized trillions of dollars of funding to try to upgrade the existing infrastructure and roadways and bridges to try to accommodate the flow of traffic, and it will never keep up. It will never keep pace. And so if you think about when you're in LA, you're in New York, you're in London, you're in Mumbai, you're in Sao Paulo, trying to traverse through a city, you're in there for an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, you might be going 10 miles or even less. And so that problem that we're trying to solve is to take to the air, have a quick 10-minute flight, leave from point A, arrive at point B, in 10 minutes instead of sitting in your car for up to 2 hours.
So how is this service implemented in a congested city?
Our journey will be a transparent, book it on your phone type of journey. It'll be simple. It'll be like booking an Uber, booking a Lyft. But those kind of ride-sharing solutions will be part of what we're doing. And so we're the flight part. You have to get from wherever you are to the flight, and then when you land, get from your flight to wherever you want to go. So very much ride-sharing is going to be part of this. We'll be flying from existing infrastructure. So think of general aviation airports, think about helipads. Each passenger has a screen in front of them. They can see the route, they'll see how much time is left. And then there's also a headset, and so they can talk to a supervisor, talk to a concierge, if you will, and say, hey, I just want to get a little extra comfort.
And unlike some of their competitors, Wisk doesn't use a human pilot to operate their aircraft.
Aviation is inherently a super safe form of transportation. But when there is an accident or something goes bad, over 83% of the time, it's human error. One of the things that differentiates Wisk from other people in the market is there is no pilot in the cockpit. And so why is that? The first thing is it's safer. We're reducing the workload, the pilot workload. So most people don't know today 93% of commercial aviation is already automated. And so the technology exists today. We're taking that to 100% where we're having the pilots on the ground, we're not having them in the cockpit. So why is that important? First is safety, reducing workload. Second is our operating costs are lower. You don't have pilot costs. Pilots are on the ground. Third is we're all electric. Our operating costs are lower. So if our operating costs are lower to operate these aircraft, then we can charge a lower price. If we can charge a lower price, then we can allow a college student to be able to afford to take our service and still have a viable business. So our target is Uber X-like pricing. And so ultimately, we're going to get to $3 per passenger mile, which is incredibly affordable.
And Wisk continues to upgrade with every generation of their aircraft. Earlier this month, they unveiled the 6th generation of Cora, which is a 4-passenger, all-electric aircraft with a redesigned propulsion system that has fewer moving parts than previous generations. The simplified and sleeker Cora has replaced the stern thrust propeller of the 5th generation with tilting wing propellers that can change orientation to fly either vertically or horizontally.
Our plan 5 years after entering the service is to have several thousand aircraft in the sky. We're moving 40 million people, 1.7 million flights, and then we scale it from there. And our burden, if you will, is to be sure that we educate people about this being an even safer form of transportation. And so we're really looking to the sky as a new frontier. It's absolutely uncrowded. It's a phenomenal place for us to fly, to alleviate the congestion that's on the ground, and hopefully to improve the quality of lives for people.
Like all of their competitors, Wisk is waiting on the final nod of approval from the Federal Aviation Administration, who has been grappling with the development of new regulations to accommodate this brand new form of air travel. But some experts speculate that we might be seeing these air taxis in U.S. cities within the next few years.